Tayo po ay nagbabalik dito sa Usapang Bayan at kasama pa rin po natin ang ating kaibigan ng si Danny Scott ng co-founder ng AutoDeal. So we were talking earlier about the good things that people can expect from AutoDeal. At least they would know that the vehicles that they're looking at come from legitimate sources, and that they can expect that if you say that it has this kind of warranty, that's correct, right? And you've had no unfortunate experiences of customers complaining that, let's say, the posted price was different from what they were actually charged, or there were some differences in the specs. What was your experience on that?
Very rarely. I mean, with regards to things like specs, we have a team of 4 or 5 people who look after our car guide every day, so it's really well vetted.
So
I
you
mean,
do audit?
yeah, we do every
Okay.
day. I mean, yes, occasionally, like with anything, sometimes there might be a mistake, but very rarely is there. With regards to prices, I'd say, once again, very rarely, because it's all coming from the manufacturers and the dealers. It's normally accurate.
Well,
yeah.
actually, I think generally the public would be aware that prices in Metro Manila would not necessarily be the same in other areas like
correct.
Mindanao or
That's
the
correct,
Visayas,
yeah.
because they do realize that they have to ship the units to those areas, and
Yep.
that there would be some handling, freight costs, and
Yep.
even insurance costs involved. Is that correct?
That's right. I'd say that's one area where we're going to look to make a few changes next year. But I mean, with the promotion pages that we have, you can indicate your own price. So if you're a dealer in Mindanao or in Cebu, they can indicate their price, not necessarily the SLP based in the manufacturer.
City-specific or locality-specific pricing.
That's right. That's right. Our car guide works off one price, but we are going to look at changes for kind of automatically knowing where your location is, so we can serve you the correct price for that location. Yeah, so that'll be coming next year. Yeah.
Sir, this is actually a follow-up question.
Okay.
This is a question from Sir George earlier. Some people have become skeptic when it comes to online transactions. How will you assure the people out there that AutoDeal is a legitimate online platform, that they can trust you?
Well, I think we're starting to win that battle. Over the last 3 or 4 years, I think it's a mixture between showing in your brand that you are responsible in what you do care about your users, and I think also working really hard with the dealers and the manufacturers to really provide a great experience for the user. So I think a lot of it is kind of maintaining quality over a long period of time. We've noticed that, for example, the amount of people talking through the AutoDeal platform with agents has increased by 100% in the last 6 months. So from 80,000 conversations to 170,000 conversations in the first half of this year. So people are trusting it a lot more, people are using it a lot more to communicate with dealers and agents.
In your experience, once you say that there's 170,000 conversations, distinct or unique conversations. How many of those actually translate into automotive sales?
Okay, so this is not easy to determine. So we do collect sales from the dealers themselves, from agents who remit when they make a sale. We have apps that they use to communicate and mark off if they made a sale. We have dealers who tell us if they made a sale as well. And then buyers also tell us that they bought a car and they get some free car care gifts and things like that. So we do have a number of areas where we do get sales information. With regards to, generally we're around at around maybe 8-9% conversion right now.
Oh, that's pretty high.
Which is pretty high. We know it can range from 0.3 to 33%. With agents.
So you would say that if you're talking about 8 to 9% of 170,000, you're really looking at maybe 15 to 20,000 units?
We think it might be more. I mean, it's like I said, it's hard to tell, but I mean, we do 20,000 unique inquiries, so people asking for a quote or an inquiry every month. So we know that, when we definitely know, we're finding around at least 20 to 30 sales per day, just from sales agents. So we're very confident that it's much more than that.
And when customers go to your platform, when do you hand them over to the dealers, or when do they actually start talking to the dealerships rather than to AutoDeal? At what point does that happen?
So once somebody has browsed through AutoDeal and they've made a decision pretty much on maybe 2 or 3 cars that they're definitely interested in, they will then use AutoDeal to contact that dealership. So then during the life cycle of them communicating with the dealer before they've gone to the showroom, they'll be using AutoDeal to communicate. So we have a lot of communication tools for the agents and for the buyers.
So if the customer, for example, wants to have a clarification on what you've posted on AutoDeal, they can still talk to you about that just to check? Is there a way
we
for
have
them to get in touch with you?
yeah, we have a lot of we have 10 to 15 customer service support who contact all of our leads by
Like a
phone.
call center.
Yeah, we have a mini call center, yeah. So every lead that comes into AutoDeal, we're phoning them up, we're talking to them about their purchase, we're verifying all of their contact details, so just making sure that all the details are there for the agents to have successful communication. Yeah, so that's been a really also important part of AutoDeal. Yeah, that's another different thing actually compared to some other platforms. Yeah.
What can we expect, sir, from AutoDeal in the coming years? Do you have any innovations in mind?
Always, always. Yeah, so I think this year we're going to be really solidifying the used car platform. That's going to be an important one for us, and we're going to be introducing ways for you to sell your car in 24 hours. And that's going to be with our dealer, base. So if you want to get rid of your car quickly, we're going to give you an option. Some people don't have time to wait a couple of months. We're going to provide auctions as well through AutoDeal. So there's going to be a number of things through used cars. For next year, we're going to look at moving into trucks and bikes as well. Yeah.
When you say bikes, motorcycles?
Motorcycles,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Not bicycles.
Not
Oh, okay,
bicycles,
I got
so
it, I got it.
motorcycles as well. So
Okay.
other kind of areas of the automotive industry.
Before I forget, could you sort of inform our audience as to how they can get in touch with AutoDeal and how they can access the platform for
Yeah.
online car sales?
Sure. So it's very simple. You just need to go to www.autodeal.com.ph. When you go there, you can easily navigate around the site and start your car buying process from there. So
Do you also have a Facebook page, or is it linked to that?
we do, yeah. There's links to it, but it's just it's Facebook/AutoDealPH.
So it will just direct them to the website.
Well, yeah. Once you're on the website, there's a few links there that can get you to our Facebook page. Yep, very easy. Yep.
How about hybrid cars, sir, and
Hybrid
electric
cars.
cars? Do you have that?
We
in
have one or
AutoDeal?
two in the premium segment. There's 1 or 2 Mercedes that are hybrid, and some of them more the premium. Hasn't quite made it fully over here yet in the Philippines, but it's going to follow eventually. So hybrid, I'm sure some electric will happen, maybe in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think the reason why the progress of alternative fuel vehicles or electric vehicles have not been forthcoming is because the regulations that would make them more interesting have not been enacted yet. Because as it is, I think we all know that electric vehicles tend to be more expensive than the regular,
That's right.
internal combustion engine types.
Yeah, I think it's just at the same time still a matter of time. So at some point it will happen. I don't know how fast it will happen here, but it'll happen in the next 5 to 10 years, I think, next decade anyway. So yeah, yep.
Well, sir, we are down to our last few minutes. Maybe
Okay.
you have a few words for our televiewers. Encourage them to only trust reliable sources like you.
Oh yeah, so if you are looking to buy a new or used car, then come over to autodeal.com.ph and start your browsing research experience and get in contact with a trusted dealer. And we hope that you have a smooth process with purchasing the car. It's not easy, so you need all the help you can get. So that's it.
Well, I have maybe 1 or 2 more questions
Okay.
because we still have enough time. One of the questions that I would like to ask is that you do your own audit of these vehicles. You do your own car reviews as well. Is that correct?
That's right.
And who are the people that does the car reviews? Are these seasoned motoring enthusiasts, or
Yeah,
how can the
so
people rely on? I mean, customers
True.
rely on what they're
Yeah,
saying.
so we do try and people who are in that content team of the video reviews and the written reviews. These are people who have been involved in the automotive kind of media world for at least 5 years or
So
so
they're
now.
motoring journalists
Motoring
as well.
journalists, one of them's had some experience, in other modes of automotives, kind of off-road and some racing experience. So we're also really trying to, put more experience into our journalists as well, with putting them on driving courses, racing courses, so they really understand, how to drive a car and what to expect from a car.
I did mention this to you off the air, but do you think there's some things that the government can do to help, regulate your industry, particularly the online platform, to enable consumers to buy vehicles online with a great
Yeah,
degree of
I
confidence?
I think in terms of helping and making it easier, it would be probably around the idea of platforms like ours, working with banks and providing, when people want to get a car loan, they can, inquire through AutoDeal, and we can work with the banks to get them their car loan in more of an online, quicker way. Right now, there's a number, I think, of BSP regulations which make it quite difficult right now. So maybe that's just one improvement that could help. Yeah.
Well, um, it says that you're
Okay.
co-founder, right? I think we
Yes.
should mention that the other co-founder is your dear friend Christopher Frankie
That's right.
Franks.
Christopher Franks.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
and unfortunately, he's not here today because he's busy
He's
working,
running around Quezon City right now doing a few meetings. So that's the
Trying
good
to
thing
make-
being co-founders. One
Yeah.
person can do this, the other one can
yeah,
keep the
so
business
trying
running.
to make AutoDeal even much more successful.
I hope so. I hope he's had a good day. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, I guess we'd like to thank you for joining us here today.
Okay.
At yan po ang isang makabuluhang diskusyon kasama ang co-founder ng AutoDeal, Mr. Danny Scott.
Thank you very much, sir, for
Thank you.
gracing our program. Maaari po kami i-follow at i-like sa aming Facebook page, Usapang Bayan. Ako po si Rach Marquez.
At ako po si George Chua. Samahan niyo po kami muli sa mga susunod pa naming episodes dito sa Usapang Bayan.